You can now join as a member right from your phone. Become a member to watch the next episode before it's released. Thank you. Facing the foreign fiend clan swarming out in full force, Qin Tian sighed, thinking how good it would be if Xiaoyan and Lin Dong were here. Toward those two, even he himself felt deep admiration. Picking up from before, upon hearing Mu Chen's voice, the Western Heaven Battle Emperor's expression turned slightly pale, somewhat embarrassed and awkward. Seeing this, Mu Chen smiled faintly. Although we once had grievances, they were eventually resolved. As for the Luo God clan in the Western Heaven continent, you did not secretly scheme against them over the years. That shows some degree of bearing. Naturally, I will not trouble you again. After speaking, Mu Chen walked toward his seat. Soon after, many heavenly sovereigns arrived one after another. The Tailing Ancient Clan, Black Heaven Ancient Clan, and Mohe Ancient Clan all took their seats upon the golden thrones. As time passed, more and more figures gathered within the great hall. Even Mu Chen felt astonished by such a lineup, because every person present was a peak expert of the Great Thousand World. Now gathered together, they truly possessed the power to overturn heaven and earth. At that moment, Mu Chen suddenly sensed a gust of black wind appear out of nowhere. It spiraled down and landed upon a golden seat beside Qin Tian. As the black wind dissipated, an old man in a black robe with white hair slowly appeared. When Qin Tian, the demon-slaying king, saw this old man, his expression immediately turned solemn. He cupped his fists. Qin Tian greets Senior Undying Lord. A slight uproar spread across the hall. Everyone cast reverent gazes, for this elder was the guardian of the northern desolate hill, the leader of the gravekeepers, the Undying Lord. At the same time, a clear sword hum resounded. A streak of azure swordlight tore through the sky, landing upon the golden seat beside the black-robed elder. As the light faded, a man in a green robe appeared seated there. He raised his head and smiled. Sword Domain's azure robe. I have arrived late. Please forgive me. The hall erupted once more, because this man was a supreme peak expert, renowned alongside the Flame Emperor, the Martial Ancestor, and the Undying Lord, the azure-robed sword saint of the Sword Domain. With this, the hall had gathered the pinnacle of supreme existences. Qin Tian himself was at the late-stage Saint Grade. The leaders of the ancient 5 clans, though at mid-stage Saint Grade, could rival late-stage Saint Grade experts using their clan's supreme relics. In addition, several reclusive old monsters had also arrived. At this moment, nearly half of the Great Thousand Worlds' peak power had assembled, a lineup terrifying beyond words. Since Brother Azure Robe has arrived, the Great Alliance Pact may begin. Qin Tian's gaze swept across the hall as he spoke in a deep voice. Everyone, I will assign you to the various bronze coffins. At that time, you need only follow my command and pour all your spiritual power into them. For the peace of the Great Thousand World, for us to no longer fear the foreign fiend clans, I ask you all to fully activate the seal. We must completely erase the final life imprint of the heavenly evil god. Everyone nodded. This was the duty of the Great Thousand Palace, to gather all top-tier forces whenever the Great Thousand World faced crisis. With a wave of Qin Tian's sleeve, everyone felt space distort, and each appeared upon a bronze coffin. Inject your spiritual power. Activate the Great Thousand Demon-suppressing array. Qin Tian's shout rang out. Without hesitation, countless heavenly sovereigns unleashed vast torrents of spiritual power, pouring them endlessly into the coffins beneath their feet. As the power surged, all the bronze coffins trembled violently. Beams of immense spiritual power shot into the sky, directly entering the Great Thousand Demon-suppressing array. The array radiated boundless light, eventually forming a mottled ancient spear. Then, the spear descended like a streak of light into the depths of the earth. From deep underground, a furious and pained demonic roar echoed. Damn insects! When I break free, I will enslave all life in the Great Thousand World, Qin Tian said calmly. Pay it no mind. It is merely struggling at death's door. Once 99 spears descend, its final life imprint will be completely erased. But we must guard the northern desolate hill. The heavenly evil god is the greatest trump card of the foreign fiend clans. They will surely come to rescue it. Time passed. The northern desolate hill grew quiet. All heavenly sovereigns waited. Only the great array above continued to surge with immense power. From time to time, ancient spears condensed and pierced into the earth, each strike weakening the demonic roar. The heavenly sovereigns showed joy, but Qin Tian, the azure-robed sword saint and the undying lord, grew more solemn. Why haven't the foreign fiend clans appeared yet? Mu Chen frowned. Suddenly, Qin Tian and the other's eyes flashed sharply toward the void. A massive crack was torn open in space. Countless demonic shadows surged out like a tide. Amid them stood a black-robed figure, his sinister voice echoing. Insects of the great thousand world, release our god today, or we shall turn your world into a demonic ruin. Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor. Qin Tian instantly recognized him. A supreme being of the foreign fiend clans, second only to the heavenly evil god. The azure-robed sword saint stepped forward, sword in hand. Abandon your delusions. Return to where you came from. We will never allow you to set foot in the great thousand world. The Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor sneered. Then we shall destroy you all. Corrosion Fiend clan attack. Countless demonic figures appeared, their bodies radiating corrosive power. Anything they touched was eroded. Then, they began to explode one after another. The resulting corrosive liquid merged into a black stream, falling upon the array's light barrier. Everyone reinforced the array. Qin Tian shouted. Then to the Sword Saint and Undying Lord. Their goal is to exhaust the array's power before the 9 final spears form. The 3 of us will act by time. 3 streams of light shot into the sky. Qin Tian glanced at the forming ancient spears. Over 30 remained. If Xiaoyan and Lin Dong were here, these people wouldn't be so arrogant. He sighed. Qin Tian also sighed. Even I admire those 2. He turned coldly toward the Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor. I will never let you break this array. The Demon Emperor laughed eerily, then slowly said, "Ha! Who said I would break it myself?" He stared at Qin Tian. Shouldn't it be you, Qin Tian? Demon-slaying King Qin Tian. Shouldn't you be the one to destroy this array for me? The northern desolate hill narrowly escaped destruction by the heavenly evil god. Fortunately, Xiaoyan and Lin Dong appeared at the critical moment. Continuing from before, the eerie voice of the Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor echoed across the heavens and earth, instantly causing shock and confusion among everyone present. Clearly, they did not understand what he meant. At this moment, Qin Tian also frowned deeply, his sharp gaze fixed on the Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor as he slowly asked, "What are you talking about?" Hearing this, the latter smiled faintly and said, "Back then you invaded our demon domain, slaughtered many demon emperors and even a heavenly demon emperor, and finally managed to escape back to the great thousand world. But do you really think that relying on your own strength alone, you could escape right under our watchful eyes?" Upon hearing this, an ominous premonition surged from deep within Qin Tian. The Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor waved his sleeve, and a surge of demonic qi gathered beside him, condensing into a demonic shadow. Qin Tian's pupils suddenly contracted upon seeing this, because to his horror, that shadow was none other than the heavenly demon emperor he had killed in the demon domain back then. How is this possible? He's still alive. A storm rose within Qin Tian's heart. This is the clan leader of one of our extraterritorial evil races, 32 great clans, the Heart Demon clan. Even now, if you were to fight him, you would at best have a slight upper hand. And you think that back then you had the qualifications to kill him? The Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor sneered. Heart Demon clan. Qin Tian's expression changed drastically. He abruptly turned toward the azure-robed sword saint and the undying lord, shouting sharply, "Hurry! Seal me immediately!" This sudden change caught everyone off guard. However, just as his words fell, the Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor's calm voice rang out, "Heart Demon, make your move. I have planned for this day for many years." Upon receiving the command, the heart demon quickly formed hand seals. In an instant, countless streams of colored light burst from within his body. Qin Tian's body trembled violently. He then felt a strange power spreading from deep within his heart. Wherever this power passed, even the spiritual power within his body was suppressed. Qin Tian's eyes instantly turned blood red. Yet the more he resisted, the more he felt control over his body being stripped away. "Ha ha ha! My heart demon seed! Activate the Great Thousand Demon Transformation Array." As those words rang out, Qin Tian's hands slowly lifted, trembling as they formed seals. The light barrier beneath his feet began to fluctuate violently, gradually dissipating. Seeing this, Mu Chen and the others felt chills run down their spines. No one had expected that. Qin Tian, the current master of the Great Thousand Palace, had been planted with a heart demon seed hundreds of years ago. He had already fallen into the trap of the extraterritorial evil race back then. Looking at the dissolving protective barrier, Qin Tian's eyes were filled with despair and deep self-blame. His hands continued forming seals, the seal to open the final layer of the barrier. However, just as he was about to complete it, his body suddenly trembled. A brilliant and mysterious flame erupted from within him. Everyone could see, as the flame enveloped Qin Tian and began to burn. Countless black, eerie light threads shattered in the void. At the same time, the body of the Heart Demon clan leader trembled violently, spitting out a mouthful of blood. At that instant, he sensed that the Heart Demon seed within Qin Tian had been completely burned away. This sudden turn of events caused the Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor's expression to change. He stared fixedly at the mysterious flame rising from Qin Tian's body, his eyes filled with gloom and fury. In a cold, grim voice, he uttered word by word, "Emperor Flame, damn it, Flame Emperor, you've ruined our grand plan." Within the northern desolate hill, the previously pale-faced heavenly sovereigns now stared in shock at the dazzling flame. That's the Emperor Flame, the Flame Emperor's flame. But how did it appear on Qin Tian? Moments later, Qin Tian felt control over his body gradually returning. He looked at the flame on him with a complicated expression and said softly, "Brother Xiao, truly formidable. Others might not understand how this Emperor Flame came into his body, but Qin Tian knew it clearly. Hundreds of years ago, Xiao Yan had given him a fire bead to carry at all times. At the time he had been puzzled, but now he finally understood. The Flame Emperor must have vaguely sensed something back then. He had never imagined that Xiao Yan's action at that time would save him from becoming a sinner of the Great Thousand World. Not far away, the azure-robed sword saint and the undying lord also let out a sigh of relief. Then their expressions suddenly changed as they shouted, "Qin Tian, activate the array immediately and restore the defense." At this moment, only the final layer of defense remained in the Great Thousand Demon Transformation Array. If it were broken, the extraterritorial evil race would be able to invade the northern desolate hill in full force. And once the heavenly evil god awakened, it would be a catastrophe. "Attack. Break this formation for me." The Saint Heavenly Demon Emperor waved his sleeve. His cold voice echoed across heaven and earth. Endless demonic ki surged behind him, and countless demonic shadows charged toward the light barrier. However, just as they were about to reach it, suddenly, terrifying demonic light burst out from within those shadows. Then, they exploded. From the center of the explosions, streams of blood flowed deep into the earth. It was the essence blood of the extraterritorial evil race. Damn it. They're carrying large amounts of essence blood. The undying lord and the others roared in fury. They're going to use it as a sacrifice to the heavenly evil god, to restore part of his power. Deep beneath the earth, it seemed as if a giant dark mouth devoured all that essence blood. The ground of the northern desolate hill began to tremble violently. Suddenly, a massive demonic pillar shot into the sky. Demonic ki surged wildly, vaguely forming a colossal shadow. The heavens and earth instantly darkened. A demonic roar echoed. Immortal Great Emperor! For 49,000 years, you fell just short. In this contest, I am the one who has won. All the heavenly sovereigns raised their heads in horror, staring at the towering demonic god figure. Even experts like Qin Tian and Qin Tian turned pale, fear filling their eyes. The heavenly evil god's notoriety was simply too overwhelming. In ancient times, he led the extraterritorial evil race, forcing the Great Thousand World into continuous retreat. If not for the emergence of the immortal Great Emperor, the entire world would have been trampled. Back then, the immortal Great Emperor sacrificed himself to seal him. Yet who could have imagined, after 49,000 years, this plane-destroying heavenly evil god would break the seal at the very last moment and return? Is this truly the end of the Great Thousand World? Countless heavenly sovereigns turned deathly pale. Now, even if the immortal Great Emperor were reborn, he could not stop me. The heavenly evil god roared. Today, I shall destroy this northern desolate hill that sealed me for 49,000 years. To mark my return, as his voice fell, the evil eye at the center of his forehead slowly blinked. In the next instant, a beam of dark light shot forth. Annihilation Eye. The dark beam expanded violently, quickly forming a black meteor. If it fell, the entire continent would be annihilated instantly. However, at that very moment, the space ahead suddenly shattered. From within the broken void, a familiar fluctuation emerged. Two figures stepped out from the void, appearing outside the northern desolate hill. Emperor Flame. 8 ancestral symbols. That is, the Flame Emperor and Martial Ancestor. They've finally arrived. You can now join as a member right from your phone. Become a member to watch the next episode before it's released. Thank you.